Hello there, my friends. It's Ray over at Cigarclimatology again, and today we're going to be doing a couple of things in the shop, but this is primarily a cigar review. We're going to be reviewing a cigar gifted to me by our host over there at Friends of Habanos, our friend Rob Ayala. And this cigar's got kind of an interesting story behind it. Let me get it out, and I'll show you what it is, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So I grabbed the cigars out of the test box back there, and let's take a look at what we got. Now, you guys probably know normally that I don't smoke cigars this large. This is rather a good-sized cigar for me. But you know, it's about time I smoked it. Like I said, this was a gift from Rob. And it's kind of a funny story. We met up in 2006 for the RTDA Show in Vegas, and poor Rob got basically confiscated out of his stash at the border, so to speak. And so I gave him a bunch of cigars that would last him, or at least a few that he could smoke while he was there at the show. And this is one that I guess survived the strip search. I don't know where he had it hidden, but it smells okay. Anyway, it's a rather good-sized stogie, and I have no idea what it is. So, you know, I don't know, maybe if Rob knows. It's running right about 7 inches, or a tad under 180 millimeters in length, and it's pretty good size in girth. It's handy dandy caliper here. It's 22. It's over 22 millimeters in girth, so it's a pretty good sized cigar. Now, just for sake of comparison, like I said, I don't have a lot of large cigars, but I do have a couple of these. I believe that these are those Cohiba Sublimes. Move my chair over here a little bit and get the center. And so you can see that the diameter is really about the same, but the length is a little bit less on the Cohiba. So just a tad difference in length, but the ring gauge looks pretty much the same. Maybe 1 ring or 2 rings bigger on this behemoth, whatever it is. It's a nice smelling cigar too. Anyway, so I thought I'd bring that out for comparison, because that's about all that I have. I've got a few larger sticks from my friend Chris, but there's considerably shorter, so I don't know that that would give you much in the way of a comparison. You know, again, maybe Rob will chime in after Havanathon here down on the thread, and he can tell me what this thing was. Apparently, it was pretty much fresh off the roller's table when I met up with him in Vegas, because he came direct from, I think, from either, you know, Havana via Mexico or something like that, back into the States. It's kind of interesting. Looks like it's got a axial mold mark here. That's kind of interesting. But like I said, this cigar was rolled in 2006. So it's over 10 years old. It's going to be 11 years old. It's got a nice bouquet. It's actually very nicely packed for a cigar of this size, and you know, even though it's got a little bit of a pebble on the finish, that's fine with me. Like I said, it's a really nice looking cigar. So rather than drone on about it too much, we'll go ahead and get it lit up. What we're also going to be doing today, while we're burning this bad boy up, is over my shoulder. You can see I got a little bit of CAD cam work up there. We're going to make a drip tray for my friend Nick over there in Australia. He's been waiting on me for a couple of things. Nick, I made you one. I think it's a little oversized and kind of sloppy work. So this one's going to hit the trash can, and I'm going to make you another one. So I kind of redesigned it, and we'll try to spit it off the machine while we're going through the stogie here. So let me gather up the soldier's tools of destruction here, which includes the lighter and such things. Looks like I got it here in front of me. Now, I never really punch cigars. It's not really my thing. But this thing's so friggin' big that I don't know that I'd be able to clip any of it off of it. And, you know, I can run a drill through it or, you know, cut it off with a bandsaw. But I don't think that's really the best thing to do. So let's punch a hole in this bad boy. And we'll see if we can get a draw out of it. Well, it punched real easy, but it left the cap and everything else in there, so we might have to do a little surgery here. Now, speaking of my friend Nick, some time ago, he actually suggested that when I smoke some of these larger ring cigars, which I, again, don't do too often, he said, you know, Ray, you really should punch them because you actually get some more concentrated flavors out of them, kind of like smoking a Torpedo or a Galapagos. Anyway, at least that was his theory, and there's some logic to that, I guess. Well, it draws a little on the loose side, but you know, with you know, something the size of an Oscar Mayer hot dog, I mean, kind of what else can you expect? I really can't detect any flavors. Like I said, the bouquet's real nice, though. So let's ditch the Cohiba. Let's put that guy back in the fridge, and we'll come back and we'll get this guy stoked up. So to drink today, at least to start, we have Spirits Eau de Agua. Piggy's White Lightning. Maybe we might swap that out for a beer when Lady Piggy gets back, and we'll go sit with the pooch on the backyard for a little while. But like I said, in the meantime, let's get this guy lit up. Back here a little bit. Man, that thing's going to be a monster. I think I'm going to have any gills left by the time this thing's done. Okay, we got a malfunction there. Finish it up with the trusty Zippo. Not a lot so far. The initial puff had a bit of pepper on it, which kind of surprised me some. But so far, Mr. Macanudo. Let's see what happens though, right in the beginning. One of the things that I don't really like about cigars this size, well, there's a lot of things I don't like about cigars this size, but first off, typically not a lot of pungence and robustness in flavor. And obviously I hope that's going to change. I mean, we're only, you know, a few puffs into the cigar. But it also seems like, at least for me, that cigars this size need a lot of work from me. And while I might have a loud mouth, I don't necessarily have a big mouth. And as you can see, that I really got to stoke one of these bad boys to get enough heat and to get enough combustion to get any taste out of it. Now that was what? 4 or 5 draws. A little bit of straight tobacco, a little bit of cream, nothing really distinct. Kind of a woody, smoky taste and aroma. Some nutmeg, a little cinnamon, and a little astringent, but nothing offensive, nothing strong. A tad of pepper. I think I'm definitely bringing a lot of smoke into my mouth to get what flavor I can get out of it. Definitely going to try to approach it a bit more modestly versus aggressively, and see whether or not I can coax some more of the more mild and subtle taste from it. The foot's pretty darn hot. I mean, it's heated up real well. It almost just seems a little too hot, so we're going to give it a minute or so to kind of cool down. So along with the cigar review today, since we're in the shop, we're going to be working on the following project here, and this is for my friend Nick. What you're looking at actually is a catch basin, or what I call a water table, for a humidor project. And kind of like a cardboard box, it's laid out here so that you can see the individual. This is actually the CAD part of it, or part of the CAD part of it. And this is essentially what it's going to look like when we are done. Just go ahead and draw that out. And let's just go through all of it. There we go. So that's basically the completed cam work. And when we get back into the shop and off the computer, I'll show you what it looks like assembled. The fact of the matter is that I've already built one of these already, but I actually did such a lousy job of it that I was really unhappy with it. So I decided to go through and recat it and recam it and change the design somewhat, and see if I can do a better job of putting this one together. I'll probably give you a couple of pictures of the first one that I built, and while we're doing the cigar review. Anyway, so that's what's going on in the shop today. Let's get back to the review. So we got the CNC on, got the spindle warming up. I think the first cut that we're going to make is going to be with this 1-inch ball bit. It's kind of an interesting, unique, indexable CNC ball bit. Don't see these every day. As far as cigar goes, A bit of a hint of cinnamon. Not really much more in the taste department. Ooh, I knew that was going. Caught on film. This interesting crater effect with the foot always gets me. I think it's just from the use of too big a ring and too much filler. I'm going to grab a couple of pictures of it. Because it's kind of interesting. It's from the wrapper and binder, it's concaved and then it goes convex. I've seen this more and more lately. Something that I've never really seen before. The cigar definitely picked up some paraffin. The paraffin flavor can be a little off-putting if you get too much of it, but those two, paraffin and gasoline, can kind of get you if you get too much of it. But a small amount, oh, how do I put it? An essential oil fragrance of it, or taste of it is not bad. But again, if it goes over the top, obviously, I don't think anyone really likes the taste of gasoline. A little too much of it can really spoil your smoking experience. But you know, a little bit goes a long way. Again, nothing really to speak of. It's not a bad cigar, but again, there's a reason why I don't buy these, because for whatever the cost of this thing is, I mean, let's say this was a $15 cigar or $18. I mean, I don't know. You know, let's say it was a $15 cigar. You know, that's the price of 3 Petite Coronas, and it's not a 3-to-1 comparison. It's a really 3 times at bat for getting a cigar that's above average good or sublime. It's also probably not 3 times as good, the 3 PCs or the 3 Marivas, but typically those cigars will give me a bit more concentrated flavor and give me a bit more than what I'm getting out of this cigar. I mean, even a Churchill at this point in time, I mean, I think would have more than likely been a better cigar. I mean, I've smoked some fantastic Churchills in my time. But you would think that, you know, again, given the age and the size and at least ostensible cost of a cigar like this, it should be a lot better than this. Again, very just, I won't say monotonic in that it has no depth of flavor, because that's not really the case, but there's no evolution. There's nothing that's really standing out to me that says figure out what this is and buy more of them. So we're going to start with the machining process over there, probably with that ball router, and make a few plastic chips, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the cigar. See you when I come back. So while we haven't really made a lot of progress with taste on the cigar, we have made a little progress with the project in the shop. And currently it's just being held together with these spring clamps. But as you can see, that is the new drip tray. And this guy right here will be threaded, and then a drain line will be put in here, and this will catch condensate as it comes off of my friend's cooler. So there you go. At least I feel good about that today. Little hand touch up here and there, and then glue it up, and we should be good to go with that one. So in the meantime, back with the cigar, it did have to endure one relight, but the fact of the matter is that I'm not really missing all that much. This cigar just does not have the necessary core ingredients to really make it happen, at least not for me. I mean, perhaps someone really might enjoy this cigar, and but of course that's always one of the things that you get when you get a cigar gifted from a friend. Do you want to come out and just tell the truth about it and pan it, or do you want to say, hey man, thanks for giving me the cigar, it was a great cigar. Rob, thanks for giving me the cigar. I'm enjoying doing the video. The cigar has been an experience, but it's been mediocre at best. Again, maybe that's just my taste. These big cigars just don't do it for me, and maybe I'm missing something. I got a little bit of pepper on the mouth. I still got a bit of the paraffin and the woodiness. Like I said, the tandy taste. I'm going to go inside, I'm going to grab myself a beer, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes with my wife and the dog on the front porch before the sun goes down, and I'll come back and give you some parting shots, parting notes. So that's the gist of it, my friends. I think this guy's pretty much about run its course. I actually let it go out a while ago. To be honest with you, it's just, it was kind of too much of a cigar for me. Too much smoking and not enough gratification, to be honest with you. To finish it up, mostly, again, the tansy, what was I going to say? The kind of paraffin taste. There was a while when I got a couple of puffs out of it that were, really, really intense, and I thought maybe the cigar was, going to switch gears and kind of come out of the closet, but it never really did it. I got a couple of puffs of it, and away it went. Overall, I'd actually have to rate the cigar mediocre. It just wasn't me. Too big, too fat, too soft, not enough taste. I didn't mind the tansy, didn't mind the paraffin. What was there was okay, but nothing to write home about. I'd have to say thanks anyway, Rob, for the cigar. What the heck? It's it's another experience. But whatever this turned out to be, whether it's super duper Edmundo or whatever the heck the cigar was really designed to be in the first place, I wouldn't buy them. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on FOH and back on my channel.